Task 1 of Prac 6 is looking at how we can use Unix to find out things without having to go in and out of every file to get that information. So there's some tools that we've been using, like the ls command and a new one called grep, that help us search for files and search for the contents of files, so patterns within files. So we'll have a look at some of those. So starting from the Prac 06 directory, if we just do a ls:/prac star, so it's doing an ls of the directory up from where we are in the prac directory, so our FOP directory, where we've got all of our previous pracs. We can have a look through and it will give you the contents of all of those directories. And that's looking pretty similar to probably the -r. Okay, so a -r will do it recursively. So if we've got any subdirectories in there, and I just happen to have one that you won't have, if we had a subdirectory in there, we'll see inside of it. And the PyCache, the ones that are created by Python, you also see the contents inside those directories. So the -R is recursive. If we were only interested in the ones that are our Python programs, we can do an ls, and this time we'll do a -l to get the long listing. So ls-l /prac star/star.py. So this time we're looking a directory up through all of the prac directories and then matching the pattern star.py, and star will expand to match anything in a file name. Okay, so you can see that across all of those, and mine are all 0 because some of them I hadn't put in there before, but you'll see at the level up in prac02 bucket1.py, bucket2.py, but we don't have our readme files. So that star.py is just restricting it to the files that have .py as their extension. We can do a similar thing with our readme files. So some of you may have put a .md at the end of your readme file name. So if we want to look for our readme files, we can do this search, and you can see that you've got prac01, readme, prac2, prac3, prac4, prac5. Some of you may have used small letters on your readme, and because we know that there's not many files that we have starting with the R, we can ask ls to use capital R or small r if we put it in the square brackets, and we could also keep it to things that have a capital E or a small e, and then a star, so capital R or small r, then capital E or small e, and then anything after it. And you can see that that gets almost the same thing, except we've got repeat dosage that starts with small r, small e. So you can see that we can look for lots of files quite easily without having to go in cd ls cd /prac02 ls, going through that whole process. We can do it all from our directory that we're in, plus using wildcards, those stars, to match different values. Now, looking at the files themselves, we might want to check for all the programs that are listed in our readme files. So grep will match to a pattern. So if our pattern is .py, so inside a file, looking for a line that has .py on it, and we will check that against, if we just checked it against something that's in prac05, and then looking at all the readme files, okay, you can see the lines in the prac5 readme that match our search string, which is .py. So that's just prac05. We could do the same thing for prac4, and we can see all of those that are in the readme file. So it's searching the contents of the readme file. If we want to do that for all of our pracs, we can just change that to a star. So prac0 star, readme star. We'll go through all our prac directories, look through the readme, and match any lines that have a .py. It also gives you the file name, so you can always get back to which ones. If you were trying to work out which prac did I do skip dosage.py, you can find that quite easily with this search. So that's using grep on multiple files, using wildcards to find the file name, as well as using a pattern with grep to match to the .py within that file, within the readme file. And that's it for task 1.